I thought the players and the coaching staff, the support staff, they had great energy all week long in all phases and aspect and preparation for this game that we're getting ready to play. I thought the players played hard. I thought communication was really good during the game. We didn't have any substitution errors, no delay of games, didn't have to call any timeouts for any phase because of any issue. So I think the communication piece was one of the things we talked about, being able to clear up a little bit to execute at a higher level. We talked about starting fast, and I think we started fast on offense. We scored on the first two drives. Offensively, didn't give up any sacks this game. I thought the offensive line played pretty darn solid. Defensively, we looked fast on the football field. I thought the players were moving around. They were swarming to the ball. I thought they played with great pursuit. Gave up a TD on the first drive, but then they answered and they held them for five straight scoreless drives. The next 5 times they touched the ball, they held them scoreless. So I thought that was a great way to respond after the first drive. And 2 sacks and 4 TFLs. Special teams, we all know Smack is a weapon for us. He was special on the special for him to see him hit that long field goal. Punt wise, we averaged 40.8 yards with 2 inside the 20, and then kickoff and kickoff return. I thought we were solid. But I just want to touch again, like I said this in the press conference after the game. Their moral victories are not what we're chasing here. We're chasing wins. We're chasing victories. So we got to get back to work this week and get ready to rock and roll.
So, Billy, I mean, Georgia's obviously Georgia rival has beaten you guys a number of times in a row. How do you flip to now night game, Kentucky? Obviously, there's tradition in this rivalry, but I mean, Georgia kind of stands out as like a circle the calendar game. How do you get them just focused on this and moving forward on this one?
Well, I think for us as a coaching staff, and I think for players, if you're a competitor, no matter who you're playing, you're going to go out and go play. If you're playing one-on-one pickup basketball game against somebody at the rec center, your goal is to win no matter what you're doing. So for us, the challenge is to continue to keep pushing the guys, continue to put them in the best possible position. But these guys they've done a really good job. We're going to go out there. I just got done talking to Tyler in the weight room before we came up. I asked how the attitude was. Attitude was great. He said they had a great day in the weight room. Attitude. Yesterday, the guys came in, checked in with the training staff just to make sure if there were any injuries or nicks, and they did a good job. These guys want to win, so getting them motivated, I don't think that'll be an issue. They were fired up last week, and they'll be fired up this week.
Did you talk to Billy Napier after the game?
I've not talked to Coach Napier since the game. No, sir.
The communication and the procedural penalties that you were referencing, or the lack thereof in this game, what did you see, I guess, in the week leading up or 2 weeks leading up that gave you confidence that was the direction you guys were trending?
As far as to clean up some of the, I think the biggest piece for us is just the communication piece. And again, I think it worked really, really well. Ryan and Russ were up top, and they had direct communication with DJ, and then obviously with Coach Spurrier down there being on the ground. I think that's all part of the process. How do you clean something up so the communication piece can be sped up? And then obviously, Ryan did a really good job of getting the play off the sideline, letting me give a chance to call it to the players whenever we huddled on the sideline, and give it to me early. So it was a chance for all the coaches. We got the play out. Every coach could coach it up on the sideline before we said it again, before they actually took the field. So any of the procedures that we can speed up the way we play and allow us to play a smoother transition, I think is obviously a big piece to us not having any type of penalties.
Kentucky's coming off a game where they, really shut Auburn down. Obviously, Mark Stoops, a defensive coach, challenge of facing that kind of a team, and what makes them kind of unique or different defensively, you think?
Well, Coach has been there a long time, and he's done a good job of recruiting to his system. I've always said that up front, they've always been big, and he's recruited length. He's always had really, really good length on the outside, on the edges. He's had big interior defenders. His linebackers, the way that they play, they kind of bump, so they don't really have to move across the field a bunch. It's schematically, they know the system. They got a linebacker that I think is really, really good. He can run as well as most running backs on the perimeter. And then again, like I said, I talked about the length. They've usually always had a 6'3" defensive defensive type corner or somewhere along the lines within that back end. And then they're returning three starters in the back end. So they've done a really good job. They were aggressive this past game. I believe they had 7 sacks against Auburn. So they play hard. They do a really good job. It'd be a great challenge for our offensive line. Our offensive line played well against Georgia, didn't give up any sacks, so they're going to be tested again this week.
What are you looking for DJ in game 2 of this new system, new process, and so forth, to build off what he did, against Georgia?
Sure. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for DJ is just to continue to relax. I think he made some plays. Obviously, would we have liked to hit every single pass? Yeah. I watched the piece of the game last night with Sam Darnold in the first half. I think he was electric. Everybody has a dream to be able to do that. But yeah, we just got to let him play, get him in the flow of the things, and I think he's a very talented young man. So, again, continue to put him in the position, continue to pare things down, get multiple reps at things, give him the looks through practice. If there's an issue, go back, correct it. Don't just let it go. Correct it right then and there. Let him get the rep, repeat it, and fix it, and then move on to the next play.
When you guys go back and look at those fourth down plays, obviously pretty critical in the game, do you have any second guesses, or things you wish you would have done differently?
Well, no, I think if you take a look at whether we went for it or we didn't go for it, we were going to go for it, and I would go for it again based off the score. I think that's the first and foremost. And we've got really strong. We've really got a really strong running game. Our offensive line has played really good. I think they came off the ball, did a really good job, and we got, whether you run the quarterback, whether you choose to run Ba, they're both big guys. Ba's a weapon. Ba's big and strong and fast, and so no, I think you make those decisions and you roll with it and go. But the perspective that I will say is there's the game of football 60 minutes long, and there's a ton of other plays that impact the game. It's not just the one. That it comes down to that's in the limelight. But there's a lot of other plays out there throughout the game that can be made, and we've got to be sharper on to make sure that we can finish the game that way we wanted to.
How unfortunate is it for Dallas to deal with this setback, and what's his response been just after missing time previously with a similar?
It's hard, and for a coach, especially the coach that coached him and recruited him and had a chance to work with him, seeing him how hard he's worked. Anytime a player gets injured, as a coach, you feel for that player because the majority of the guys played the game. I played the game, and I lost time because of injury. So it hurts. The first thing we did is we jumped on the bus on the way home, and as we were driving away, I walked down the bus and sat down with him for a little bit, sat next to him, and just talked to him, put my arm around him, told him I loved him, and it's a setback, but we'll recover from it, and he'll be fine.
Coach O'Hara, as a whole, after watching some of the film, how do you think he did in his first true time calling plays?
I thought it was great. I think he did a great job. We were in a situation to win the game. I think that we can surround and say different things about how things, would you have changed things? I thought the flow of the game went well. I think if we were to say anything about the game itself, that one area that I can stress. We need to be better on the middle 8. And again, I talked about starting fast, focus, and then finishing strong. Stay focused and finish strong. To start fast, I thought we did a pretty good job. We came out the blocks offensively. We put some points up defensively. They scored the first drive, but that's okay. Our defense answered, and they came back for 5 straight drives and stopped them. So for me, that's a start fast on both offense and defense. The focusing part to me is what we call the middle 8, and that's the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. Okay, and collectively, again, I know we can look at a lot of the back end of the game. Yeah, that's part of it too. But to me, the part that we can teach, we can get better at as a staff, as a group of players, the coaches, everybody is to that middle 8. Just looking at it right here, offensively, we wanted to try to get points, but at the same time, you want to try to milk the clock a little bit, so not to give them an opportunity. We got the ball back. In that second quarter at the back end, and the 2:34 mark in the second quarter on the -9. We ran the ball for a 4-yard gain. We let the clock go down to 2 minutes to try to buy some of that time back at the 2-minute mark. Then we hit Dallas on a slant. got a 15-yard penalty tagged on top of it, so moved us down a little bit. 1st and 10, it was on the minus 35. We had a minute 32 on the clock. We wanted to try to take a shot to try to put us in position. They played cover 2. He tried to check the ball down to Hansen, and incompletion. It was 2nd and 10 on the 35 with a minute 27. Took a shot to tank, and we just missed it. It would have been a great opportunity. That would have put us in at least field goal position to try to get 3 more points up on the board. And then the 3rd and 10, DJ drops back. He tries to anchor his feet and slips. Ball came out a little bit loose, and he recovered it, but that was a minus 13. So now we're at 4th and 10 on the minus 22 with a minute 11 left. We punted the ball away, 41-yard punt to their 37. So we did not finish offensively in that drive. And then you take a look at, I thought, could we have done a better job consuming the clock? We were up 10-7 at this point, but again, like I said, we're also trying to get points. We're not just trying to wave a white flag and say that we're not going to. And Smack, obviously, I said this before, he's a weapon that we could utilize and put us in that position. Georgia got the ball back with a minute 6. On the 37, and we gave up 2 explosives back to back. One of the few plays right there that we did give explosives. Defense played well, but we gave up 2 explosives right there, and they got the ball. 17 seconds left. They kicked the field goal. So there's a 3-point swing there. We come back in the third quarter. We get the ball, and we did not do a great job. We 3 and out, had to punt the ball away. They got the ball. They went down and scored. So that 8-minute period, which I talk about, that we need to be better at, we can continue to be better. That was a 10-point swing. So for us, that's what I look at. I look at getting the team better and how can we get better. Yeah, there's a bunch of individual plays, but if we start looking collectively on offensive, defensive, and the special teams unit together, how can we improve? I'm going to focus on that middle 8.
What is the season stats on that?
I don't know the season stats particularly off of that. No, I don't know the season stats particularly.
Billy's first year in 2022, I think the middle 8 was kind of an issue.
And I'm just kind of looking at it, but did we have the right calls? Absolutely. You're about a foot away from a pass to Tank down the field, and again, we had the right calls on defense. We gotta execute at a high level. So.
And halftime too, you have more video access, right? And new rule and so
We
forth,
do.
everything like that. You try to maybe utilize that in terms of coming out in the third quarter.
And the players, they do a good job. There's video access, and we go in there and we'll talk about what plays we want to run, which plays the defense thinks they need to do to stop them. And but that's all part of it. But no, we've got to do a better job in that area, in my opinion. And that's the part where I said stay focused. That's that middle part that always drags a little bit. So we've got to do a great job with that part.
What's the approach with recruiting right now? I mean, how do you guys engage recruits? Are you going out and recruiting?
We're still actively recruiting our players. And it is no different than anything else. We're still communicating on a daily basis, sending texts, sending emails, getting a chance to talk to them on the phone. They're still Florida Gators. We're still Florida Gator coaches, and we're still recruiting our student athletes to come to this university. It's a great opportunity. Again, this is the University of Florida. We want to go out and get these players to come here, and they understand that part. This is a special place.
What sort of challenge does it present to just for the wide receiver room and the passing attack with Dallas out and a couple other guys banged up?
You've always got to have a backup plan as far as being able to make sure guys can play. That's development. That's hopefully we've done a good job of developing the players behind them to put them in a position. And we talked about this before. Competitive excellence, in my opinion, is when your number's called, you're ready to make the play. You don't know when it's going to happen, but when your number's called, you better be ready. You've been prepared to go out and perform in a game time situation. So.
Lost the last 2 in Lexington, and this is going to be the coldest game you've played all year. How are you preparing for that crowd in that environment?
Well, it's a new team. Every year is a new teams, and we understand that. Our focus is just to continue to get better this week on us. Is it cold? It's cold in the morning here. I wake up in the morning here and go to my truck. It's at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's cold here too. So our guys get up in the morning. It's cold. It is what it is. But we got to go play. That's the bottom line. Football's football, no matter where you played. The majority of our players, they've been through cold weather. They've been in hot weather. Listen, let's go play the game of football.
A lot of teams have had issues going to Lexington for some reason. What makes that place just so unique of an atmosphere or environment?
I think every place you go play on the road's got something unique that they can choose and hang their hat on. I wouldn't say that they have a particular one. I think again for me, we just got to focus on our team. Stay together, stay strong, continue to improve, fight, play together, play for one another, and understand when we're playing that game, we got to make sure that these guys understand. I'm looking over here at Gums. They're playing for each other. And this is an opportunity. We got a lot of football ahead of us, and take pride. Each individual take pride and take ownership of this team. So when you're playing for your teammates, it's a little harder to let somebody down next to you. You go out and continue to play really, really darn hard, and that's what the selling point for this team.
Eligibility, anything you guys have talked about?
No, for me, it's one game at a time. Let's go take care of what we need to do. And, we were in a position last week. We came up short, and I told you that's unacceptable. We want to win. Our players want to win. Our coaching staff wants to win. University wants to win. Our fans want to win, and that's the number one goal. But for us, it's all about each day, each week. So we'll go out there today, and we'll put we'll be in Spiders today out there, and we'll review. We'll put the game to rest with our players today, watch some film, go what we call the good, bad, and ugly from the game, and then we move on. We get ready to rock and roll for this game this coming weekend.
Kenneth, has been an issue all year. How do you guys continue to improve on that?
If you take a look at the third downs, and I'm kind of pulling some of these notes up here, but yeah, can we be better? Absolutely. We were nowhere near where we needed to be. A couple checks, one was in the gold zone. They played a bracket on us. We had a couple other calls that I thought were really, really good calls. We had a player that is isolated in a one-on-one situation, and his footing slipped a little bit. I'd take that matchup all day long again. We had another one that was a great throw that we didn't come down with the ball to keep a drive going. So are there some plays that we can continue to improve on? Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, there's a couple plays in here that if you look back, that they were really, really solid plays. We just need to, again, for some reason or another, we didn't make the play, whether we didn't come down with the rock or we slipped. But we got to continue to improve on that to put us in a position, because ultimately you got to take care of the ball. You want to hold on to the ball. We got to keep the defense off the field, and we want to go score points.
Are you hopeful you have Burnell back this week?
I'd love to have everybody that's injured back, but yeah. So we'll find out from we'll have practice here a little bit later today and see where he's at running around. But yeah, I'm very hopeful to have him back. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody.